Okay, start talking.
Nice T-shirt.
Oh,
Everyone.
Hey, nice T-shirt there.
Nice T-shirts. Woo!
All of you. It's like,
Thank you.
excellent.
Did
so
smell like unbelievably bad?
yeah, these
No,
took like
I
Why
washed
don't you
this
get-
one before I wore it.
Yeah,
yes,
I had to.
absolutely.
It was, the smell was horrific. Clay, did yours
Smells
smell?
like puke.
Oddly enough, neither mine nor Bill's smelled funny. So
Really?
we washed it, but it didn't stink.
It must be because it was from the Netherlands.
I think what took so long, because Teespring, I think, operates in the U.S., and I think they must have been entirely shut down here because of COVID. So that's why we got them from the Netherlands.
And,
Yeah, they're
and Bill's package
for full production now. So
had a lot of information about something about Teespring UK. So that might be like a sister company. So,
all right.
Mine
Well, these
smelled
are
like they
available
had.
on the website with our new logo. Woohoo! So hopefully get them faster than what we did.
and wait. This, don't ask about this.
That's wind.
Wind.
Got lots of wind.
It is kind of fleshlighty,
It's very flashlighty.
or like prolapse.
Looks.
Are you gonna do like lift, separate?
I can't. It's the opposite side. I can't do it. There it is.
Oh my god, it is a prolapse.
See? There you go.
Ooh. I think I just ruined us being able to sell
No,
these shirts.
because you know what?
Very interesting. Are you
it's-
kidding? There could be a niche market.
It's made of latex, and you wear it on your face. It's COVID friendly. You know, it just has like
There you go.
a little thing right here, and
Hi, Clay.
So anyway, welcome back, everybody. It's been a few weeks.
Yeah, we took an episode off.
Yeah, it was 4th of July weekend. That's fair.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, because
I wasn't sure
we
if I was
work
gonna
hard
be
at
here.
this.
But, say it again, Clay.
I wasn't sure I was going to be here because we had a camping trip that was tentative, and it happened, and I was like, well, we should be back in time. I don't know. I thought, well, I'll do it in the car. So I wore the shirt home from the camping trip.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
nice.
so cool.
Oh,
where'd
you go
go?
camping?
I did.
We went up to Mendocino.
okay.
Okay.
Oh, that's the home of Fetzer. Have you ever been to Fetzer?
What's
I've
that, sir?
seen,
No.
I've seen it as I've driven by, but I haven't.
Oh, God, it's huge. They've got a private pub bar that the father made for the kids called the Big Dog. I totally recommend it.
Were the kids really
Big Lazy
drunk?
Susan tastings. What?
The kids really drunk? Like he made them their own bar?
Yeah,
Hey, kids.
and I sat next to one, and he told me that they planted marijuana up in the top in the great fields. Yeah, that was awesome.
I have never been to
Was it-
Mendocino. I hear it's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's like Sonoma remoter.
Oh, wow.
Gorgeous.
And are there like Guerneville? Are there like towny people living in the woods? Yeah.
If they are, we didn't see a lot of them. But, it's-
Oh, I miss those
They-
lazy bears.
They come out at night.
Those early lazy bears.
I know.
I don't know what you were mouthing there, but
Speaking of Lazy Bear, that would have been in 2 weeks, and a number of friends, their reservations didn't get canceled, so they're just going to go have a quiet weekend up near Russian River next weekend.
Oh, nice.
In 2
Wonderful.
weeks.
That sounds
Yeah.
nice.
It'll be lazy
A
bear.
socially distant lazy bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, nice to see you, Jimmy. I
Uh,
wonder if they're gonna have the tree of life.
you mean the hugging tree?
Wolf, I could barely
Yes.
hear you.
I'm here. Hi. Yes. Hello.
Okay.
Let's try this. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah, you sound
There
good.
you go.
Excellent. Okay.
I was
I'm
going to
trying to keep
say,
it on top of the beard.
Lazy Bear. What about Lazy Bear? Oh, so much. The stories I could tell. So people are going, the Guerneville. Oh, I'm on the Triple R Resort Facebook. So
Uh-huh.
they got flooded big time
Again?
again, which they always
When?
do. This time,
When?
it took them a long time to get back up and running.
Oh, this is the same one from like 2 or 3 years ago?
I guess. I think this, I don't know. Were they out a whole season? I guess. I don't know. But
Yeah, because I don't think that they really opened up for Lazy Bear last year.
yeah, it took a long time for them to get up and running. Lots of memories from that place.
Yeah, I haven't been to Lazy Bear, I don't think, since like 2012, I think was the last time I went.
I know.
2011. So
I'm such a party animal. I would go up during Lazy Bear and stay at the house that our friends rented that was 4 miles out of town. And
Where'd Ron go?
like
Hello.
never go
Ron.
into town. Ron, hello.
Hello. Hello.
He'll be back. Oh, hey,
Ronaldo.
and it's frozen.
Come on, you can do it, Ron. One more button.
Click it. Click it good.
Push the button, Frank.
Push the button, Max.
Yeah,
There
there
he
you go.
My network
Is everything
went down.
okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Your internet went down?
Yeah, it's every once in
Oh.
a while that it goes down.
Frank's out.
All right.
All right. Welcome
Lazy
back,
Bear.
everybody. Hope you had a good 4th of July. Like here in Oakland, where I live, it felt like war torn someplace. It was just
The fireworks.
yeah, and our neighbors couldn't get home. Every street they turned down was blocked by people doing fireworks.
Oh my
They had
God.
to circle back and back up, and because they were like, "We're not stopping," so they had to go around. And they
Oh,
finally
wow.
took them like 45 minutes after they got off the freeway to get home. It's a 5-minute trip. So,
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Utah, they're very serious about their fireworks, but it's not per city. Everybody can do fireworks, but it has to be either the day before, the day of, or the day after, and that's it. And then at 11 p.m. on the day after, bam, boom, no more fireworks. And then they get to have fireworks again coming up this Friday
Oh, nice.
for Pioneer Day. So which is a Mormon thing, I think.
Yeah.
So the fireworks stands are up and running again. So they just kind of went quiet, and now they're up and running again for Pioneer Day.
cool.
Yeah, I like the way they handle it.
Is it really just a scheme to sell through all the stuff that they didn't sell for the 4th? Like so they can over order without having to get rid of stuff, without having
Could
to
be.
house
My
stuff
roommate
until
and I,
next
we
year?
did a pilgrimage to Wyoming and got some heavy duty stuff. Heavy duty.
Oh,
We had
yeah?
to go there to get some liquor because
Oh.
apparently it's hard to get liquor here. And then
Is it a dry town?
it's a dry town. It's a dry state.
Well, usually isn't even Coke and Pepsi has less caffeine there than
I haven't heard about that.
it's
might
not
be
something
low
like in the state of Utah there's less caffeine in it or something, or maybe there's either something has less caffeine or something has less alcohol. I don't remember which it is.
Well, they do have the state run, maybe.
I don't know, but the
stores?
one time I was in Salt Lake City Airport, everybody looked like they were wearing Oshkosh bagosh, like matching clothes, and like all the kids look the same. Is it still like that? Is it like, is there a Utah outfit?
No, like Scientology.
That's what
No,
it looked like at
I
the
haven't
airport.
noticed that. Everything is very progressive.
Oh,
Well,
good.
I don't know what's going on in people's brains, but there's
Well, that's
pride
good.
flags everywhere in downtown.
Oh,
Salt Lake
nice.
City. I'm thinking very little Trump stuff, which I'm quite surprised about. But
Yeah.
was it you, Tim, or someone mentioned probably because of Romney?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's probably special. So
Yeah, Romney's, I'm sure, more their guy than Trump is.
Hmm.
yeah, I've seen
what-
actually I saw more Trump in Orange County than I am here, which is really strange.
Hmm.
is it?
Oh.
Yeah,
Orange County has long been like a conservative hotbed, though, huh?
they turned blue the last.
I know. I mean, but before that, for a long time.
Well, because
Well, I wouldn't necessarily saying voting in a Democrat representative or senator or whatever is the same as turning blue.
Right. Well, there was one poster saying that Trump endorsed this one candidate, but it was kind of in an off area. And it's like, I'm not seeing a lot of it, but it's Republicans are definitely on the ticket, governor for all sorts of stuff.
And what about for a while, wasn't the Mormons behind Proposition 8 or whatever it was to ban gay marriage? And
Oh yeah.
They back that heavily. If they didn't, I don't
But
remember if they actually wrote it or not.
Yeah, they should lose their nonprofit for that, but they're so massive and huge. So
I know.
Like Clay's like, yeah, that'll happen.
Do they have one of those crystal castles? They used to have one in DC, this beautiful like Disney castle thing.
Yeah, they have. Well, those are everywhere in the world. But yeah, they have the regular Mormon churches, which are kind of plain, and then they have the temples, which have Moroni on the top with this little trumpet. And I've been in one before it was consecrated.
Did you have to join the cult?
No, but I had to wear shoe cozies, and it's all about level. I don't know how we start talking about this, Clay, but it's all about levels.
Clay's just sort of like, I'm just letting it go.
It levels of enlightenment, and then at the last room is like the one you see with the big windows and all the light and stuff.
Oh, nice.
And, there's a big like a jacuzzi tub, a hot tub. And look down, it's like 30 feet down, and there's these giant bowls holding it up.
No.
And there's like a drawbridge, not a drawbridge, a little bridge. And that's where they baptize you and all of your ancestors.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
That'd be a fun party.
I think you're getting something confused with like the Goonies.
I know. Was there a mean old lady who was chasing you around?
Guy named Sloth. Kind of big.
Kind of cute.
Everything that I'm telling you is absolutely true.
Wow.
Okay, my free range bear elements. Hopefully you've got it out of your system. And let's.
So which one of us is the prolapse, by the way?
Oh no!
It's a flip fight, I'm telling you.
Clearly, we have not gotten it out of our system. Go ahead, Tim. Talk.
No, I'm done. Go ahead.
Talk about this one. Let's go right here.
Oh no! You just ruined it.
Just a tip.
That's what she said.
Oh my god.
Oh wow, you really are sunburned.
I know, right? So we'll just skip to that. Make sure you put your sunscreen on, even when it's overcast, because we didn't see much of the sun, but it was there.
Mm-hmm.
I remember going out to.
Everybody's been indoors for the last 4 months or so.
Right. What were you going to say, Wulf?
I remember going out to Ocean Beach when I lived in the city, and it was all overcast, and I still got a sunburn, although with my skin. Yeah.
Right. German,
crispy, 6 minutes.
Italian, German, Italian.
Is that like a switch you can flip?
Yep.
Yeah.
I got the fair skin and the olive skin.
There you go.
All right. Well, speaking of not being out in months, I just noticed how pale I am. I'm like, oh my God, washed out. But, better than sunburn. That's going to hurt.
I have a convertible. I put the top down and I ride around doing my Malibu fantasy Barbie driving as I couldn't do as a kid. And it gets me a little sun, which is good.
You dress up like Barbie?
You wear that song, I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world?
That's none of your business.
Life's fantastic when you're plastic.
Aqua, is that who that song was?
Speaking of getting the sun on our heads, what if we had no hair at all? Vito, how could we manage that?
Oh, well, I was complaining about having to shave my head every morning with the Norelco, and my roommate says, well, why don't you use Nair? And I'm like, Nair, that's for legs. What do and my mind flashes back to like 40 years ago. It's like the pink bottle that's ugly, right? Apparently that's not the case. I got this one infused with olive oil
Nair
and
2020.
what's that?
I said Nair 2020.
Nair 2020. And I put it on all around, and I put it in my ears. And you let it sit for a minute, and then you go into the shower and you start your shower, and then 2 to 6 minutes later you rub it all out, and bam, no hair.
You have to be careful that it doesn't drip down into your facial hair.
No, it's like a goop. It's kind of goopy.
But when you're rinsing it out,
when I rinse it out, I go all the way down with the.
Wow, the duck is smooth.
How long do you use like a pink razor to like get the rest of it? Yeah.
No, I've never done that because I have I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it?
Your ripple?
The ripple, the hot dog, I call it.
Oh, that's where you're gonna grow your Hare Krishna tail.
There you go. So I've always gone and got haircuts because I thought that I'd never be able to take care of that myself, and now I can.
oh wow.
So
Okay.
it's pretty.
When you first
you say
Nair,
What, Ron?
No, Chris was saying something.
Wolf.
when you first mentioned Nair, I thought this was the prelude of a I Love Lucy episode.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
No, I mean like, oh God, we're about to watch something comical and funny involving Nair.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
But it's a thing. Apparently it is a thing because I went on YouTube and there's tons of videos of guys with bald heads doing Nair on their head.
All right.
So
I think it's extraordinary.
Wow, he is cracking himself up.
Right? Does it stink?
Thanks, Barbie.
Do those chemicals stink?
It does have a smell, yes, but it doesn't stick around.
Okay.
Does it smell like burning?
Does
Does it smell like burning flesh?
tastes like burning.
But does your skin look like this when it's done?
No. I think it's because of all the oils and all the stuff that's in there.
Right.
Can you use it on other parts of your human body?
I would assume so.
Because you could save a lot of money on like waxing and things like that.
Oh my God, you nared your...
No, I didn't. It just worked really well. I thought it worked really well.
You just do a test.
No, just my head. I haven't tried it anywhere else. In my ears. That's it. I don't know. Remember, Clay, we pulled the hairs out of your nose? I don't know.
Mine too.
Safe in there. Yeah. I have that video up on Facebook or on YouTube. If you want to watch Clay getting his nose hairs pulled out.
That was intense.
Classic episodes.
That was intense.
Sounds like a BDSM scene.
That's what I do every time I fake cry. I just pull out my nose hairs.
And start crying.
Get out of a speeding ticket.
Yeah, in your convertible. So they're gonna feel sorry for you.
I was living my Barbie carpet.
Well, this is your topic. Vito, wrap it up.
That's it.
Okay.
Thing. Check
That
it
was
out.
easy.
Try it.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Leave some comments. Just
All
want to
right.
let you guys know that it's available and it works.
Is it a different formulation for men?
No. Mm-mm.
So, do they have any formulations for men in the flavored coffees that you've started drinking since you moved to Utah?
Your segues are a little abrupt.
Yeah,
this
it's
week,
a little
Clay.
abrupt.
Just saying.
Can
They're
someone
Nair.
I can't share my screen for technical reasons, but could someone look up the Bones Coffee Company?
I'm looking.
And bring up all the flavors. So thought we'd talk about coffee snobbery, where people are very proud about their coffees, and like what Clay, what do you your favorite? Do you have like Arabica?
Whatever's on sale at Costco or grocery outlet. That's, we're willing to try anything.
Are you doing pods?
We have a machine that has a burr grinder in the top, so you just dump the beans in. And so you don't need an alarm clock when you have one of these, because when it takes out,
Right.
Should I share my
You're doing
screen?
just coffee flavors, like breeds of coffee.
Yeah, we tend to shy away from the flavored coffees because they tend to be more oily, and so they don't tend to go through the burr grinder very well.
Okay.
But when we're out and about, we have no problem drinking flavored coffee.
There you go.
Oh, look at all those options.
So you got Shark Bite, which tastes like spice buttered rum, but they're not sweet. It's just a flavor.
Oh, okay.
So it is actually infused. It's not like this has hints of
Maple
bacon. It's
bacon?
actually flavored.
Yeah,
Are they-
Highland Grog.
Are these ground or are these beans?
You can choose what you like.
Gotcha.
I got a T-shirt from this company. It's really awesome.
They look
Where
like
where are they?
Where are they physically? I have no idea.
Hmm.
But
They're an About Us link.
they may have some great graphics, but their coffee's good too. But I tried. They have that's like a sample thing. You get 5 of them, and hard to choose, and they're all good. And once again, they're not sweet. There's just a subtle flavoring to them. And while I'm drinking these, hold on.
I can't drink coffee unless it's filtered through a 1920s contraption that looks like it's steampunk.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. There are some people that are super serious about their coffee.
Oh my God.
Oh,
I can't. Yeah, I've been yelled at by coffee snobs. Like, no, you can't put that like milk in your coffee or something. It's my coffee.
Yeah.
Well, we had Bill's house when I met him. He did a tenancy in common with one of the guys worked at one of the places that does the syrups, the flavored syrups. So we always had tons of those available, and if you wanted flavored coffee, you could just put a little syrup in there.
Like the Torani ones?
Yeah, like Torani and those other brands.
That
But I
was
noticed that
very,
the prices are really high, for $15 for 12 ounces, because for $15 you can get 2 pounds at Costco of regular coffee and then just flavor it yourself.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about that?
I've thought about it, but there's a lot of sugar in those. And then I'm not doing artificial sugars right now, which is another topic.
I actually
They
put honey.
contribute to insulin resistance. So
Yeah, I put honey in a little teaspoon of honey, which is actually supposed to be good for many reasons. But it's I mean, does it taste like this coffee or that coffee? I don't know. I mean, after a while, I get used to it, but I like the health benefits of just a teaspoon of honey. And
it's supposed to help with Clay with allergies too. You get the local honey.
Local honey, yeah.
Yeah, the local honey. Mm-hmm.
That's what I do.
Get the local honey.
Yeah.
Anything else about coffee?
Yeah, I have a little Nespresso thing, and so we get those little pods. And I honest to God, I mean, I think it's very good, but I can't tell the difference between any single pod, like the chocolate pod or this pod or that pod. I don't know why. For me, like coffee, pizza, and hamburgers are all like really good. Like even when they're not that good, they're still kind of good. Like for me, other things I'm picky about, but like, I mean, and I like good coffee. I like fresh coffee. I could tell the difference if they're ground beans or if it's a French press, I guess. But other than that, I mean,
what about creams? I use rice milk.
I just use regular half and half.
Almond milk.
If I have to use it, it's almond milk.
Almond milk.
I use milk straight from the cows.
Okay, Santa Cruz, whatever.
What kind of cream do you use?
I just walk through the field to the dairy and go to the cow. Squish, squish.
Exactly.
Good morning, Betsy. How have you been? How are the calves?
That's the only way I get my cow.
Someone has to say it. Cream of some young guy. Okay.
Nobody had to say that.
Clay, I still found out what you use.
Well, I
Cream
use
your coffee.
I just use whatever milk we have. We usually drink 1 or 2% milk, and we use brown sugar instead of white sugar, and we like that little molasses flavor in there. And
Yeah.
so that's kind of nice.
Whoa.
And yeah.
What sort of beans do you guys use for the coffee drinkers? I mean, I know Vito, you're using that. What's the name of that again?
Miscellaneous flavored coffees. I'm out of the bones, so I went to Target, and I'm trying the different flavors at Target now.
What about
Clay,
you?
what sort of beans do you use?
We just use whatever's on sale at Costco. So, like San Francisco Roasters. There's one brand there that they used to have a lot and I haven't seen. Well, there's like Jose's or Senor Jose's or whatever. If you see that at Costco, it's
You're not talking about Don Francisco, are you?
no, it's something Jose.
Don Francisco's really good. Yeah.
Anybody here drink Sanka?
Bill's parents, who were immigrants from Italy, they did. That was their morning coffee.
My grandma used
I've
to do that.
I've been doing beans from Verve in Santa Cruz for a couple of years now.
Okay.
Which one? Oh, Verve. Yeah, Verve's really good.
Yeah.
In fact, they're expanding. I saw in Austin had some Verve coffee at this one little store.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and there's one in
Good for them.
Japan. I think now
Oh.
there's yeah.
Come here.
There's
Cool.
next time you come visit, we'll go. There's a couple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Black, it doesn't show up.
No, not really.
Oh,
What sort of tea do you drink, Wolfie?
And then
Variety. Mostly it's like an English breakfast style tea. Recently discovered a tea company here in Portland called Smith Brothers Teas. They have a Portland breakfast tea, which I like. British Brunch, which is like a Darjeeling. I've sent some samples over to my brother, who's also a tea drinker. He says it's like the best tea he's ever tasted. So that's awesome.
What's the name of it again?
Smith Brothers.
Okay. I'm making a list of like links that we should put up on the site.
Yeah.
For Bones.
It's Smith Brothers, right?
Whatever's at Costco.
Or Smith. Portland Smith.
There's a really
teas.
nice one in Los Gatos, Big Bear Brewing Company.
Oh yeah.
Big Bear.
It's beans. It's coffee.
Yeah, it's really good too. They have really good coffee. It's in Los Gatos, and it's I don't know.
Is that like right on Los Gatos Boulevard there?
Yeah,
by like off Big Basin.
I think it's across from the Apple Store, kind of, or down, maybe like a block from the Apple Store.
Everything there.
Yeah.
Is that Bellies started again?
No, yes.
But I wanted to ask Wolfie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I see on the news, which I watch very little of, that Portland has gone helter skelter, and they're kidnapping people in vans. Like what's going on?
It's not a good situation. Basically, the federal government has come in. They've got a bunch of unmarked minivans around, and then people will come out and arrest protesters in downtown Portland. The ACLU is in uproar about this because it's pretty much unconstitutional for all intents and purposes. Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler's just angry about it. He's been saying, no, stop doing this, go away. Same thing with the governor, Governor Brown. If you hear that it's like, oh my God, it's a big, massive insurrection zone, there's violence everywhere, don't listen to that. It's complete bullshit.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Most of the protests have been peaceful.
California with the mudslides. Everywhere it's going into the mud. No, that's just
my mom.
Nice in Malibu. Yeah.
Well, but seriously, like, what sort of protest? How do they justify? I mean, what sort of people are they picking off the streets? Like, Because from what I understand, like there was 2 people just walking home from a protest, or you know what I mean? They weren't even
They're
sort of
saying that there are
I
people
can't. I do not know that.
government.
What? Sorry, Vito.
I read something that they're justifying it, saying that that person like did something at a government site, like maybe threw something at a building, a government building or something. So they're like using all sorts of little things to justify picking up people.
Sounds
They're basically
flimsy.
trying to push forward a false narrative that it's like insurrection, blah 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 blah,
yeah,
and it's complete claptrap.
yeah.
Absolutely.
It's interesting though, like I mean, how I think people, you know, probably from the Midwest or people who rely on these sources, you know, they think it's real, like, oh my God, you know, because that's somebody had flipped on Fox News at work, and I never watched hardly any news, let alone Fox News, but like, you know, they're like liberal city insurrections, you know, and they were like they had this whole narrative. It was cuckoo. It's like I couldn't believe how absolutely crazy yeah.
They're pounding hard. They're pounding hard right now to make liberals seem like they're, you know, if Joe Biden becomes president, everything's gonna go to hell, you know. Like,
Yeah.
Basically, they're desperate at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, Trump's poll numbers are like,
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, it's like, oh yeah, if you vote for Joe Biden, if he becomes president, every time you call 911, you're going to get placed on hold, or you'll have to leave a message. It's like, no.
You mean like
No.
already happens in Oakland?
Well, there's that.
Oh, Oakland.
Well, it's happened in San Francisco too. All
Yeah.
the big cities get overloaded, and
Right. But that has nothing to do with like all this fear mongering of
well, exactly.
funding
Yeah,
the police.
Basically, that right now the Trump ads are portraying what would happen if Biden was elected, and everything that they're portraying is actual film footage of stuff that's happening now. And that's how stupid people are that believe those ads.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I don't want that to happen. It's already happening.
And not only that,
Right.
you know, I think that there's a lot of that going on, but it says also people saying, oh, well, what's going to happen to the economy? Well, the president isn't in charge of the economy, number one, but number
Never has
two,
been.
right? But number two, yeah, I mean, they might take funding away from the military, you know, and put it towards schools where it belongs, you know, or you know, spread it out from the, you know, militarization of a lot of police units to, you know, again, education and other things. But they're trying, other people are saying, oh no, they're gonna, you know, just take away all this money, and then they're creating all this fear out of nothing.
yeah, well, I think the socialism stuff has gone down a little bit because Bernie's out of the picture.
Yeah,
So then I got to find other stuff now,
yeah.
and it's hard. You know,
It's
Joe Biden's
crazy.
pretty middle of the road.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see who he picks for a VP for running.
Yeah.
mate.
Well, and maybe this is a little subtler, a bit of a transition, but we're going to do a bit of a COVID update. How much of the fear in these political ads is tapping into or just piggybacking on, dogpiling onto all the COVID fears? You know, because there's already so many concerns. You know, you have to. What are they just reaching for something that they can control?
I think with all this stuff that's going on with COVID, I mean, the current administration, you know, regardless of whether they had a part in making it spread more or spread less, it just looks terrible on them the way this is being handled, and I don't think that can be ignored.
Like they're like really, you're attacking Fauci? Like
No.
Like really?
No.
Really?
No, Trump is,
Yeah,
not
Trump
you.
is.
Oh yeah, the whole
No, I'm saying them. It's like really.
apparatus.
Okay.
Oh right, yeah, I know.
Your narrative.
know.
You're gonna go ahead
That-
and now do
I know.
Fauci. Really? You think
That
anybody's
was-
gonna believe that?
You know, Fauci, made me really proud to be an American again in many ways. I'm like, oh, here we go, an actual grown-up speaking on the news for once,
Yeah.
and somebody who had been through a lot and had a long history and wasn't afraid to speak the truth. And then now, they're trying to discredit him. Of course, they want some idiot in there who's just going to agree and say, oh, yeah, it looks like it's getting better. Look over there. Look what Portland's doing. They're going to create distractions and make up, whatever statistics they want to try to get reelected.
It's unbelievable.
Well, it's not just having sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
It's not just having an adult speaking. It's having somebody who's there who's willing to admit when they're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Never.
Because
And that right there, the whole narrative of like when someone from the White House was saying, well, Fauci was wrong on several occasions. Well, of course he was, because it's an unfolding, the pandemic is an unfolding unknown.
right.
And everything is going through all these different permutations, and we're finding all this stuff. And this sort of leads into the discussion that Vito brought up about California rolling back. The news here is full of people whining. It's like, well, they say we can open and then we have to close, and it's so difficult. Yes, it's difficult. It's also necessary. And
Right.
being a whiny little bitch about it isn't going to make it any better.
Yeah.
And do you have COVID? Are you dying? Then put it in perspective. Yes, it's difficult. We get it. It's difficult for all of us.
Well, what's interesting is people, unless it touches them, right? It's this thing that's out there that's bad and wrong, right? So someone that's very close to me that gave birth to me was saying, oh, that bad bastard Newsom, he's closing it back up again. And then now it's like, oh, one of our friends, yeah, she's in the hospital for a week. She's got COVID. Now she's calmed down and she's not blaming.
well, I see it every person in the hospital.
It needs to touch people, and then they.
But it's there. I mean, they all look at all the stuff that happened out of New York. I mean, and Philadelphia, and and New Jersey. I mean, it's there, and people, But you're right. There's suppose there's some disconnect until it gets close to home, but I see it every day. It's close to home, and it's getting closer and closer and closer. In other words, more and more patients and more, and it's very scary. And when you see that the hospitals are nearing capacity and they're having to ship people here and there, and the consequences can be very, bad. I'm certainly hopeful. I am not a person to say, okay, let's be, gloomy about this and paint a terrible picture, but it can be really terrible. And again, we have it really good so far as having our health, having food, and yeah, I mean, it's a big mess, but without leadership, it's even more difficult. And I think at least Newsom has been trying to do his best as well. And again, it changes for him as well. I mean, every day is fluid, I think, for all of us involved. It's a very strange time how every day.
You have to be a pretty high level thinker to understand that things are fluid and you're doing the best, and then you alter it and you make changes to the plan, right?
Yeah.
But they're being like, Neanderthal. Oh,
yeah,
he was wrong.
I know.
Right, Clay?
Well, and I'll be honest with you, it's not just America. I mean, Bill has cousins back in Italy, and one of them, she's a wonderful person, but every once in a while she'll post some stuff and it makes you go like this. And the latest one was a rant from somebody else saying, leave us alone. If we're asymptomatic, that means we're immune. It's like, that's not what that means.
And I did my
you can't run with something you read on the internet and say,
leave us alone. Okay, fine. It's none of your business. I'm fine. I have a cafe with my friend.
And Ron, you're probably closer to this than the rest of us. Is it true that about 85 to 95% of people have no severe problems at all? It's a very small percentage of people that are having real severe problems?
Yeah, it is. It's a smaller percentage of people having severe problems, but it could potentially be what already is. I mean, but tens of 50 million people infected. It can
Sure.
so it's all a percentage game. The more people get infected, the higher that rate goes up of and it doesn't take much to overwhelm the system because we're just not equipped for that.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what Fauci was trying to say all along, without saying, run for the hills, but like,
Well, the reason I asked you that question is that I've also seen a lot of bullshit online where people say, well, everyone I know that they tested positive is fine. They got over it in 2 weeks and they're fine. What? Well, that's great. But do you see, I want to say to those
yeah,
people, do you see how how unique your position is? For me,
and
it's just
yeah,
because you could have been in that 5 to 10% or 15% that has a
exactly.
catastrophic outcome.
Exactly, and young people are getting sick. Athletic people. It's not just the extremes. Yes, it may be more prevalent in that group, but at the same time, regardless, I mean, that's even at that. I mean, I think that's a careless statement. These are people's mothers, fathers, uncles, brothers. These are people, and doesn't matter if they're at some extreme that you may not be in that group. It's yeah, you're lucky that you're not, but it's heartbreaking, regardless of what group it is.
For every one person I hear about, like, oh yeah, I just had like symptoms for 2 weeks, which is actually few. What I hear more about is the people that they've been in the hospital for 60 days.
Yeah.
That's what I hear more about. I mean, of course, you're going to hear more about it because that's the more tragic, that's the more sort of noteworthy. But I hear about that more often than I hear about, oh yeah, they had COVID, it was no big deal. Actually, I don't think I've heard that from anybody.
Well, most people probably that had minor symptoms probably didn't even know, and until we have antibody testing, they're not going.
I had a doctor who came to our hospital who's working as a sort of on a temporary basis, travels every 4 months to different places, and he was just in Queens and Brooklyn and whatever. And I said, how was it there? And he said 100% of the people at that time who were intubated died. So they were just basically, people just dying left and right. And he said it was awful. And another one who was in the reserve who works in my group, an anesthesiologist, went to Philly, and the same thing. The hospitals were just overflowing, and again, people don't realize, okay, you might not get COVID, but if you break a bone, if you fall and hit your head, if you have a car accident, you have a car accident, good luck. You might as well go to the vet, because there's not going to be any place for you to go, and that's the part too that I think people need to understand. It's not just, oh, this COVID is going to get me. No, if we overload our hospital system, you might just get something simple and die from it. You can get appendicitis and die from it.
Yeah, it's not just we ran out of hospital beds for COVID patients. It's we ran out of hospital beds for everyone.
Right. That's right.
Wow.
And Portland, they're saying that if things continue the way that they are, we'll run out of hospital beds in about a month. That's what I've read.
And Wulf, have they started opening up in Portland?
They started to open up, and I believe that's been put on hold due to the spike. That said, Oregon has not had that many cases on a per capita basis. I just looked up, we only have about 14,000 cases, of which there were 260 deaths, roughly.
Mm.
But still, you need to be careful.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Well, Houston, on the other hand,
they're beard, and I don't like it, so I don't know where I'm asking. I'm just kidding.
I don't want to get indentation. Let's talk a little bit about dark humor. My neighbor, who's 90, she wanted a pulse oximeter, to make sure that her blood oxygen supply was good.
Yeah.
And it was delayed. So someone just gave her one. And so when the delayed one came in, she gave it to me. And so in the morning, I just put it on my finger while I'm drinking my coffee, and in the morning you have typically low everything. And, so they're expecting them to be high. Their pulse rate is low, and they're not breathing heavily or whatever. Well, I didn't realize I had it on upside down. You can actually change the orientation of it. So it said 86, and I was like, oh my God. Because if it's below 95, you're screwed, right?
I'm not
And then I was like, and then I pressed the button a couple times. So I'm like, oh, it's 98. I'm fine.
98 should be 99.
So, and the whole time, my heart rate kept going up and up and up. That'll wake you up.
Just as long as you don't get one solid beep, that's all.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I tell Bill all the time with the, I've mentioned this before, the people have been driving so crazily with the empty freeways, which are now getting busy again. I went down to Salinas to get our camping here, and I actually sat in rush hour traffic on 880 coming home. Nothing like regular rush hour traffic, but there was rush hour traffic. And I was calling them on the phone or in the car saying, there are cars on the road, but you don't want to go to the hospital right now, because even if you
When was that?
COVID, that was Thursday. So the trip up to Mendocino and back, no problem at all.
Well, in my hospital, the ER has been full. The OB ward has been full. The ICUs are full. You know, it's really filling up, and you see more and more people coming in, and you know, you hope that I like seeing people staying home personally, you know, and getting off the road. But you do, like you said, Clay, seems like a lot of things. People just want to get back to normal. But Fauci said this from the beginning. You don't determine when you get back to normal. It's the virus is going to determine that. And it's sort of like, you know, we're so used to things we can control. And a virus is like sort of like radiation or something. It's outside of our normal sphere of things we perceive, right? It's invisible and it's something, but it's a force, you know, nonetheless.
Yeah.
And whether we agree with it or not, it's going to be making, you know, us all rethink our decisions. And then we have to be flexible.
Well,
you know?
I have to say this. I was a little leery going to a very rural county to go camping because they have a reputation of being more Republican and masks have become politicized. Why is beyond me, but they are. And we stopped into a gas station and sign right up front. You have to have a mask to come in. And I went in, I followed the arrows, and the lady's really nice. And this man walks in with his teenage daughter, and they don't have masks on. She's like, "Excuse me, but you have to have a mask." And he does this whole bro thing, like, "I don't have one." I was so happy. She goes, "Then you have a problem." And I was like, "Yes, tell him." And so they just pulled their T-shirts up, and he says, "Is it okay if we do this?" And she's like, "Yeah, if you do it right." I mean, she wasn't taking their shit. And I was like, "Yes, mama, give them hell." So, anyway, at least somebody's giving somebody shit for being an asshole.
Ron, what is that?
Thank God.
Prince!
Okay.
My keychain.
All right, we have about 14 minutes left.
Oh my
16. Yeah.
Time
So
flies.
I'll
Do
be
we
right back.
want
I just finished
to-
with something.
do we want to talk about music and games or the belt that we discovered?
Ooh, belt too.
Well, it's pretty topical one, and I talk about the belt
Okay.
until Tim comes back. Oh wait. Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
hey.
That's me.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's Prince David Bowie. That's their love
Skateboard.
child.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right. Can
That's
somebody go to Lizard Tail Belts? And share
I
their
got it.
real quick. Lizard Tail.
Am I doing it or is somebody else?
Belts.
Sounds
Tim,
like
why don't
Wolf
you do it?
is.
Who's got the teletype keyboard? Cha, 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 cha.
That would be me.
Are you cutting cards for Fortran? Oh shit! Reject.
I could.
Shit! Reject.
I have a mechanical keyboard, and it has the really clicky keys on it, which I like.
Yes.
You don't say.
Yes.
So it's been a problem for me with my belly with belts. It's uncomfortable. That's just the way it is. You get home.
But when you're sitting down there digging, they dig in.
Yeah, digging.
Yeah.
Digs in a little bit in your belly, right? And I met this couple. We were hanging out, and one of them stood up, and I said, "What is that?" And
My penis.
a penis. There you go. It's
Wolfie, did you find it?
Oh, let's see. I thought somebody else was doing it, derp.
it's
Scissor tail belts. Here we go.
okay.
Oh, you were chunking on your keyboard. I thought you were doing it.
Oh. Oh! Oh, interesting.
Yeah, just share the screen real quick, and then for a minute.
Sure.
Basically, it's a rope, but they have proprietary way to keep it together. And
That looked really.
There we go.
You can customize the size, or they have the
Ah.
standard sizes. And
I like the green one. It says, "I'm not homeless, but I might be."
So what makes this more comfortable than a regular belt? Because it seems like the less surface area might actually cut in more.
No.
Yeah, good
Wulf,
point.
go back.
Okie doke.
There you go. Okay, so it doesn't cut in more. It's extremely comfortable, and you put the penis in the vagina, and it doesn't come out.
Oh, it's like
I don't know what that means.
I know.
And
Wait. It's like this.
you put it in the belt loop.
Put it in
Oh,
there.
thanks, Ron. Yeah.
Right in there. Put it right there.
And then
Clay's not even looking. He's like, I don't need to watch this.
I get out of the car. Sometimes I'm like, oh, the pants feel just a little bit loose. Where before I actually had to put my hand down and hold my shorts up, or going to the next hole in the belt was a little too tight. So it's kind of like in the middle. This, I'll just go and just do a slight adjustment, and the pants stay up. And I don't have any kind of discomfort sitting down. It's like it was made for big boys.
Oh, cool.
Totally done with this conversation.
Is it stretchy like bungee cord material?
No. No stretch.
No?
So what I've got
Scares me.
is from this company called Alchemy Goods.
Okay.
Whoa.
It's a belt. It's made out of old bike inner tubes.
Oh, nice.
So it has some stretch to it. It gives.
Oh, nice.
But yeah,
So
it's all
your-
recycled old bike inner tubes.
If your belly
wow.
touches it, it just kind of moves. So that's probably comfortable too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
anyway,
What was the name of
Alchemy
that?
Goods.
Alchemy Goods, and what was the other?
Lizard tail.
The nice thing, Vito, about that belt is like if you can't close something in your trunk, you can use it to keep the trunk open. You know, you put a bicycle in the roof of your car. Yeah, you can use it for
Well, that's all right.
use it for play. You know, tie me down.
Yeah, you could knock it out.
Yeah.
This seems like it has Wulf all over it. Yeah, it doesn't really. You could tie somebody down like that.
Yeah, that has Wulf all over it.
Yeah. Oh, God.
It's multi-use.
Did we share the picture of him? No, we did before we started.
Does he?
Oh, yeah.
Does he want to though? That's the question.
Are we talking about what I did yesterday?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
I understand
okay.
if you don't want to show that.
I
don't.
I'm going to say no for the time being.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Tease.
Yeah.
Anyway, you dressed up like
No, I get that.
Yeah.
it was really done really well. Anyway.
Now it just got
Thank you.
awkward.
I had a belt that broke when we were moving stuff out of Bill's family's house, and so I cut a piece of.
Did you strap down the bike with it?
I cut a piece of rope that was hanging in the garage, and talk about looking homeless. Tied my belt with rope, that was just dirty, filthy rope that probably been in the garage for 20 years. And I was like, but my pants stayed up, so
And comfortable.
Well,
That's, you know,
I like these ones, like the military ones.
Yeah.
uh-huh.
You know, they have the little, you know, you put the thing in the thing, and then those ones aren't too bad.
Yeah. That looks like it has got some give for the belly. So it
Yeah,
doesn't.
like after a meal, you can just let it out.
for me, those
Are we
don't.
talking about a belt or a fart?
They don't tend to stay in the same position. They tend to loosen up on their own. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's true.
these don't loosen up.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
they don't loosen up. So,
Well,
but I
believe
like-
it or not, we are within 5 minutes of wrapping up. So we're into back scratch time. So who wants to start with the back scratches?
I'll
do
say
it.
Wolfie.
Go Wulf.
I would like to give a back scratch to our friend Ranger, who's visiting us this weekend. He has been absolutely wonderful, and we really enjoyed his company. And thanks for coming out, since it gave us a little bit of a piece of normality here, which is well needed.
Yay.
Mhm.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Good.
Who next?
I can go.
Okay.
I want to thank my friends Barbara and Doris, two women who live nearby who have been a part of AIDS Life Cycle. They've been getting me out of my damn house and on my bike a few mornings a week. So
wow.
yeah, need that right now. That, you know, just other people, friends in my life who are keeping it interesting and helping me keep my sanity. Gregory, Nate, Ira, I'm forgetting people and sorry. You guys, thanks. Backscratches.
I would like to thank a drive-in movie theater. Remember those?
Yeah.
What'd you do? What'd you do at the drive-in?
We pulled the car up, and the little guide made sure we were far enough from the other car, and they had great prices on snacks, and it was really
You didn't
cool.
bring your own snacks?
Yeah, I got
Did
more.
you put some people in the trunk?
Okay.
And it was really neat. It was like a blast from the past, and then it's like I have to share that it's like, oh yeah, I remember when I was little, my mom and dad wouldn't take us to the bathroom, so we'd have to pee, and my brother and I would pee in a cup, so that we wouldn't have to
explains
go
it a
out.
lot.
It's just neat. It's just neat, and it's like it was cool.
Did you make out in the back seat?
No, did not.
Ew.
Okay, Ron. Who?
Oh, you mean last night?
Who do you want to back
Not as a
scratch?
kid. Last night.
A
Or
back
whenever it
scratch,
was.
you guys, for this has been really nice after our little break, and I enjoy it immensely. And then you know, the nurses I work with and all the people at the hospital, kind of, even though it's been very stressful, like we all sort of you know, it is some sort of, you know, socialization, and everybody's working very hard in scary situations, and I'm just grateful to be working with a lot of caring, compassionate, hardworking, you know, nurses and techs and everybody there. So back
30
scratches.
male nurses?
Yeah, there's a couple. Yeah, there's even one guy who's he's a gay guy, and there's not that many at this hospital. I don't know why. Because
Shirt wasn't off. I don't like it. Keep those scrubs tight. Sorry, go ahead.
I will.
Well, I think that for me, my back scratches have to go to my friends for helping to organize our camping trip, because I desperately needed to be away from cement, you know, just being in dirt. You know, if I'm going to be filthy dirty, you know, I might as well be out in the country. I love that coastal air. That was really good, being away. And just, you know, like everybody who's hanging in there, from the lady in the store that wasn't taking the idiot shit to, you know, medical professionals and people doing Uber or Lyft or whatever they're doing, and getting out on their bicycle and, you know, hosting people in an appropriate way. I mean, you know, we don't know what our new normal is going to be. It's all still in transition. And I know for me, early on, I was all gung-ho, I was ready to do this. And I have to say, for the last month and a half, I've feared falling into a huge depression just watching this country go to shit, where all the other countries flattened their curve and went down, and, you know, and we never got out of the first wave, and then just increased it, and it's just, and it's not
like that
that hard to do the right thing. And if the right thing changes, start doing the new thing. Calm the fuck down. Things are going to change. There's a lot of unknowns. And so to everybody that can handle that, Backscratches.
There you go.
I find too, when you scream at people and say, calm the fuck down, and you slap them a little bit, like in the 80s, that helps.
In Airplane.
It worked in every movie you ever saw it, so it must be true.
Right?
Right?
And it's stupid world of rules. We're not allowed to do that anymore, but it does help.
I tell Bill every time he tells me to calm down, I'm like, when in the history of mankind is telling anybody to calm down actually calm them the fuck down? It never happened.
You know, I did hear a quick little piece of advice, like, you know, it said, if you're in a situation like that, you know, people are really on edge, you know, and like, you know, instead of telling somebody to calm down, you know, putting your arm around somebody that says, come with me, you know, and basically, you know, removing yourself from a situation too. You know, remember, we can always do that. Like, we can't always control if there's going to be a wacky lady at the, you know, Costco, but we can also just like walk away, you know, and I think like, it's easier some places than others, I suppose, but just remember that, you know, or if somebody you know is getting upset, just grab them by the shoulder and say, you know, come with me a minute, and just remove from the situation. And it's a way to diffuse things. Or else get a van and go full Portland and kidnap them. You know, we can do this to our friends too. It's not just the protesters. If our friends are acting out of control, we put on our shirts, we get a little van, and we go kidnap them.
Get the Bear Elements going and kidnapping cute bears.
The Bear Element Prize Patrol.
Like that.
Well,
Van,
we're gonna circle back to that idea, Ron. Okay? Yeah,
Okay.
Thank you
You can edit that out.
so much.
Wolfie can drive in his costume. That would scare the crap out of me.
That would be interesting. Yeah,
Now
I
you're
can't
gonna
get a
now you're
mask
gonna
on.
have
I
to
can't.
show it, so.
Oh, well, we're talking about it now. We haven't shown it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I was a little reluctant to do this, but I'll go ahead and do it.
I'm not saying you have to. I'm not saying you should.
Yeah.
Just for fun
But
yesterday.
all the cool kids are doing it.
All
I
right.
am.
Yeah.
I'm saying all of that. You have to.
Dropbox.
So
Here we go.
before you show it, before you
Oops.
wait, no.
Ah!
Hey.
Hi.
Why did this happen?
I don't
So
know.
imagine this coming up alongside you in like a black van with black tinted windows, all
Exactly.
murdered out, and this guy's like, good in.
Good.
God.
Yeah, that's Portland style, and that's how that's how we deal with people not wearing their masks.
That's some pretty awesome prosthetics. So for those people that don't know, that was Wulf in
Hi.
prosthesis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not sure what happened, but that's okay.
That's very sexy.
All righty, guys.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for this get together. It's always good to see your faces, and
Thank you for sharing.
I will bid you adieu.
Yeah. Stay safe, everybody. Wear your masks.
See ya.
I love
Maybe.
when people drop off.
Be safe.
Here's how. You get one.
Wait,
Drop
wait.
off.
Who's what?
Who's it gonna be?
Huh?
Who's it gonna be?
Who's gonna go? Who's it gonna be?
Who's gonna do it? Who's gonna do it? Prince.
Okay, bye.
Okay.
It's translucent. Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye. Signing out.
Goodbye, Prince.
Bye.
See you, buddy. And there goes another episode. Visit us at bearelement.com.